So, Saquon Barkley is officially out for Thursday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. This is big news simply because if you know, you know, the Giants are 9-13 without Saquon Barkley. They're averaging just slightly under 300 yards per game as an offense without Saquon Barkley, which isn't bad and isn't good at the same time, simply because obviously you're not going to rush for 150 yards and then pass for 150. It's going to teeter to one side the most, which will be eliminating the run game, from the New York Giants aspect of the game plan. They also average 1.8 touchdowns per game without Saquon Barkley. So just under 2. Maybe they get 2, maybe they don't. So they're not scoring a lot of points without Saquon. And they third downs, let me check the desk here, 37.4% chance of getting a third down. So Saquon is a big part of this team, a big part of this offense, and it's centered around him. Yes, they paid Daniel Jones. And just to go a little bit into the situation with Saquon, we all know the situation with him and his contract situation, him getting a 1-year deal, not getting the franchise tag or signing for the franchise tag numbers. And after this 1 year, I mean, who knows where he's going to go? Who knows what's going to happen? And in my opinion, Saquon Barkley is a cornerstone running back. He is a 3-down back. He is a back that is game-changing in an offense that's not centered around him. And I feel like that's with most running backs. Like, if there's an offense that's not like centered around the running back, I feel like they have a better chance of being successful, and they have a better chance of being compensated for that. I feel like somebody like Saquon Barkley, now that he's playing on his 1-year deal, he has a chance. Well, now that he's injured, obviously, we don't know if it's going to be 3 weeks that he's going to be out. That's what they're speculating. But if he does come back a little faster, or if he stays out of 3 weeks, when he does get back, if he's back to playing Saquon Barkley football, when they're centered around him, and he's making, receptions out of the backfield, he's rushing and getting touchdowns, et cetera, doing pretty much anything and everything he can do, I feel like next year he should leave the Giants. I don't feel like the Giants are going to compensate him as well as he wants to. And even though it's not all about the compensation, I feel like he'd be better suited for a career in on a team, that is already established as a balanced offense, a balanced team. A balanced offense, in my opinion, would be somebody like, and I'm a Ravens fan. I know people are going to be like, oh, you would say that. But honestly, a place like the Ravens would really suit somebody like Saquon Barkley really well. It would be a balance where you not only have to worry about Saquon, but you have to worry about Lamar. You have to worry about the way that we pass now and then. It's more balanced central in that offense. And Saquon could be better suited to have a longevity in career. We do love our backs. So being able to pay him not top dollar, because I don't feel like anyone's going that direction this time around, or these times, but he can be compensated well enough to the point where he can have fun, and just have a better career. And not only just the Ravens, I think a team like the Patriots could really use somebody like Saquon, and that'll be a very balanced. And they don't have any weapons right now. I talk really bad about the Patriots, but a team. I know that great coaches can use players like that and put them in the best situations to be successful. I feel like Saquon with the New York Giants, that time has come to an end, if you ask me, because it's not that the Giants can't do it. I just don't believe in Daniel Jones. I mean, he can be an average quarterback, but overall, I feel like he's just being used so much. It's so much centered around him to be successful. I feel like it's a little bit of pressure. Not that he doesn't accept that or want that. It's just a change of scenery, put in a better situation with a better quarterback, a more balanced offense would suit him better in the long run. I think a lot of people agree with that. But simply just based off what he did so far this year right here in the 2 games that he did play, in the first game against the Cowboys, he had 12 attempts for 51 yards, averaging 4.2 yards a carry, 18 yards being his longest run. That's not extremely eye-popping numbers, but 4.2 yards a carry lets you know that the run game is working to a degree. Now, going down 40-0, you do have to abandon that. So then he got into the passing game with only 3 catches for 12 yards, 10 yards being his longest catch. So that game didn't suit him well. It wasn't one of those games that you could really use him. So could he be someone who's not a factor on a team or not a factor in a game simply because of the position he plays? That's something that you have to think about when you want to sign a running back of Saquon Barkley's caliber. But yes, he is a back that you will want on your team and that you will pay well, simply because even though they were down 40-0 and they had to abandon the run, it wasn't like the run wasn't working. It was working. They just had to go a different direction. And I feel like if they had that, like I mentioned, that quarterback or that balanced offense, or just a better overall offense than what the New York Giants have right now, that he would be more of a factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, they abandoned the run because they was down so bad that they had to pass and try to do this and do that, but they wasn't even able to catch back up. But they wasn't even able to keep the game close so they can get back to the run, slow things down, and be able to eat some clock and manage the game that way. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not really on him or his fault, which no one's blaming him. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't be much of a factor in that game simply because the total offense that he actually plays in. Going into week 2, he got hurt in that game against the Cardinals when they won, coming back, scoring 31 points to win 31-28. He had 17 attempts, 63 yards, 3.7 yards a carry. His longest run was for 16 yards, and he did score a touchdown. He also had 6 receptions for 29 yards, 4.3 yards a catch, 10 yards being his longest catch. And so he scored twice in that game, a key factor in that game. Obviously, they were down just as bad, but not as bad. But, they were down again, you know what I'm saying? And they used him not more, but a little. He was a little more effective, if you say the least. He was averaging less yards a carry, but he got more catches. He got more yards in the catch. He actually put points on the board with his rush and his catches, so making it more effective, in the situations where he was at. Because the stats from week 1 to week 2 aren't really not really that different. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that makes a difference is those 2 scores. The one in the receptions and the one in rushing. So this year right here, he was off to a good start. In my opinion, it could have been better, but everybody's been playing a little rusty coming in off of preseason, who hasn't got no time. 29 total rushes for 114 yards, just under 4 yards a carry, with 1 touchdown, 9 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. So, like I said, 2 games. I feel like those stats would have they would have got better, as time goes on. And going off his recent history, just like off of last year, he played all 16 games. He had 295 attempts for 1,312 rushing yards, 4.4 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns, 57 receptions for 338 yards, and 1 fumble. So his stats last year were honestly good. They were great for a running back. For a 3-down back, he produced well, double digits and touchdowns, over 1,200 rushing yards, over 4 yards a carry. So last year was really good for Saquon. Only year that was better, in my opinion, was his rookie year in 2018, when he had over 2,000 scrimmage yards. You know what I'm saying? He caught 91 passes for 700 and some yards. He rushed for over 1,300 yards. He scored 11 touchdowns, 10, I don't remember, but he was averaging 5 yards a carry in his rookie year. So when he came in on the scene, it was like really, off the charts. Since then, injuries, you know what I'm saying? The year after, I believe he played 13 games. That's when he took his injury. I think I forget what year it was exactly, but he played two games. 2020 was another. No, 2020 was the year he actually got hurt. Excuse me. 13 games was the year after that. 2020 was when he got hurt and only played 2 games. And he's been working his way back. And injuries has been something that's derailed his career to this point. But when he's healthy, we all know what he can do. We just got to pray and hope that he stays healthy. But I think for Saquon, I hope and I think this may be his last year in New York. I feel like this is a big blow going into the game against the 49ers. Like I said, they're 9-13 without him, just under 300 yards a game offensively. So that's not great numbers going in, stacked up against a 49ers defense that's really great. The top defense from last year. Brock Purdy's back playing well. I don't see a win for the Giants in this case. Now, this is football. Anything can happen. It's the best of the best. But just speaking from being a fan and knowing football in some degree, I guess you can say, I got the 49ers winning that game on tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. Without Saquon Barkley, who would have been a big help, even though that, like I said, that defense is stout. It's a great defense. But just to break the news, which has already been broken, everyone knows. Just wanted to kind of elaborate on Saquon a little bit and honestly say that I believe Saquon Barkley needs to leave, or I'm thinking I'm not that he just needs to leave. Excuse me. Let me rephrase my word. I believe this would be just his last season in New York. Just going off how the year started, the contract they actually did give him. I'm not sure of the words and of the negotiations and how they come up with a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it something they're based on? Like, hey, we want to see if you can last a whole another 16 games. So we want to just give you 1-year contract because we don't think you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the conversation was in the negotiations room, but for them just to get him 1 year after what he has been able to do when he was playing for that team really doesn't sit well with me, as well as a lot of other running backs in their contract situations. But just shout out to Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, I hope to see him in a new uniform next year, and I believe he's going to thrive. And that's it, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just want you guys to like the video, comment on the video, let me know what we can do better. We learning here at Fights for 800. We're trying to learn how to break down into segments, certain things, and give you guys conversations that you want to hear as we're talking. So shout out to my co-host Meech and my co-host Brandon, who's not with me today, but I just wanted to break the news about Saquon, give my opinion on him a little bit, and that's a wrap.